Hello everyone. It is the 10th of August 2022. This is Tim speaking today in response to I saw a video on YouTube. Apparently Orson was giving his bit. You see, Orson has got a little confused, and that's why he's in conversation with number one. And I would just like to say that I feel that me and Orson need to come into a little bit more of alignment now. Now, of course, to anyone watching this particular video for the first time, you might need to backtrack a bit and come up to date with the stories that have unfolded for me personally over the last, well, this year especially. And my approach, if you like, to this subject, to this book, needs to be understood. So when I refer to Orson and number one and Tim, it's probably important that you do watch them. Starting with the Valentine's message, of course. I told you it'd be, seem a bit silly. This is how it happened. Now, today is another beautiful day. What's going on? I mean, just for the record, Tim does feel the same as Orson in that last reaching for an angel message. And I would always wish you were here. But I understand that these things are all beyond my control. However, the bigger picture is so big that there has to be some very real courage now. For me, for all of us. We are one. So the courage is quite simply shared. And I think as much as the approach to this entire subject is playful, convoluted, it's not a linear path for any of us. And we all have our unique path. And yet it brings you to a point that in the end it is far simpler than you ever felt it to be or thought it to be. It is quite simply a connection. I experienced yesterday just that connection. Well, this is Tim. Orson's messing around. Tim's much more straightforward and just basically Tim. And what happened for me is I put a comment on something, and at the end of it I put P.S. urgently need someone to talk to. And basically, invisible friends out there. I found a friend. Someone, her name is Deborah, responded to that in a perfect way. She just went, yeah, I need a friend too. Before going to sleep, I said, you got one. And then this morning I woke up to a couple of messages from her. One, just like, hey, this, that. She lost her husband 41 years, some years ago. Some time ago, I don't know. And it was quite simply a kind of breakthrough for me, because it was like, aha, found you, and I found an invisible person. Anyway, it kind of transpired that then, through that little connection, through a comment, a breadcrumb, if you like, she then saw the Reaching for Angels message video, which of course doesn't show up on my YouTube. I've still got just 2 views, so there's something up with YouTube, and if I've got a load more views going on, you owe me. But anyway, that aside, it's ever playful. But the beauty of it was that she then watched that, and she said some beautiful things. I then woke up to a message from her this morning, and it was that she watched it, and was surprised that I'm a real person, that I actually exist, in a way. And said that, it made her smile and laugh a few times. And that in the end, she just enjoyed it like I was just talking to her. And you know what? That holds a lot of truth. Because the language of love, a heart speaking to a heart, you always feel that it's just for you. And that's why love songs, love stories, everything that you relate to with a different part, the part I'm ever more focused on being in touch with, because that's where the magic lives. That's where all the magic lives. And coming at it with your mind and your logic, you are quite simply blind to the language of love. And it was through this interaction with Deborah that literally something I've known but helped me just, it is so true. It's just that. She felt I was talking to her, and I was. In that same way, it's that language, and that's the language I want. It's called in the past the green language. It's a language that quite literally transcends time and everything. So I just want to say to Deborah, hey mate, I got a mate, and it's brilliant, and then that's led her down the path of watching the other one wrapped in the cage, and hey, to get the line of the story, you might need to, she said as well, she said she really liked she used to get her sons to read her their stories. She homeschooled, and it's beautiful, because it's like, she said, this is a great story, and I was like, well, back up, because there's a few, you need to get the context, continuity of that story, and believe me, Deborah, this is a very big story. Very big. And I just want to say thank you. You feel to me like, let me get biblical about it, but like the woman at the well, like that breakthrough somehow. Anyway, talking about breakthroughs, what I'm going to do, I've written a bit more of the story. So, invisible and some visible ones. I got a bit more of the story. So, I better check back, yeah. So I'll start with the last paragraph, rather long one. From before, for anyone that might be keeping track, I know there's some out there, I mean, guys, this can't go on much longer, you know. This seeming separation is now no fun at all. Anyway, here we go. Are you sitting comfortably? And I shall begin. Right, I'm not sitting comfortably, man. I need a cushion. This bit's closer. This country's getting a bit rocky and tough, like Portugal. Anyway. Well, luckily, I am here to remind you. This is number one, of course. I'm here to remind you of the simplicity of life, of breath, this ever-flowing moment of time where you truly exist, where you get to appreciate and feel gratitude, where you get to connect to that infinite within you, the only place that is your truest home, the only place from which you can experience peace, the only place where all of this is trying to get you to focus, the only place where you should be trying to help Tim to settle in, the moment called now. And this is Tim. 10th of August, 2022. The words, the moment called now, ring through my day. These last 5 days, it has felt like someone has kicked me in the balls at times. This irrepressible, impossible, unimaginable dream that I am so certain of, held in check by a higher power, or a simple fear of losing the most precious thing. Lifting my spirits so easily, then my mind latching onto something, anything to lower my energy. The dreams and experiences reaching all-time highs, more present than ever, acting consciously within the dream realm, choosing what to do, talking and making decisions. The other night, or early morning of 6th of August, I was in a series of experiences where I seemed to see what I can only describe as heavenly hosts, and I was with Emma once more. She showed me the letter and card I had sent her in October 2020. I was only semi-lucid, I felt, and worried later I had missed a chance to talk with her. I wasn't present enough. I quell my fears and trust in the process. On the night of 8th to 9th August, my presence exploded. I found myself in many scenarios and tests, at one point able to mould stones, granite, into juggling balls and juggle. So many experiences where I am learning to remain regardless of what is going on. I feel I am getting better. Enough about me for now. What about you? You invisible people. You believers in magic. Are your days and nights raising your levels of gratitude? Have your tests and trials been too much? Or like me, are you feeling the presence of God more and more? We are experiencing a mass awakening, the likes of which have formed our religions and mysticism throughout the ages, and we are right in it. A time seemed coming for thousands of years, a divine time, a return to truth, compassion, and removal of dark forces, a time to stand as one and allow peace to enter our hearts, a tipping point. Orson, why have you stopped him again? He seems a bit big for his boots, as my mum used to say. He thinks he is the greatest alchemist and all that. I let him out of the box for a minute and just listened to him, number one. That is what I am trying to do. Well, I think continued caution is the order here. There is a bigger picture, and how can he think he has any control? And what about you? I saw your reaching for an angel video, you know. We all did. Are you aware of the bigger picture, or is Tim closer? Can you let go of your limited fantasy of Emma, and only Emma, your view that that is all that matters? You were both told very clearly on the 29th of February 2020 that this love must be subjective, not objective. It would seem that nano brain of you and view of yours needs to get out more. I know, number one, but I just don't see how this can be a love story if they don't ever meet. That is worse than Romeo and Juliet. That is a tragedy. Tim is opening his heart to all, and you keep stopping him. He is ready and needs your help. Emma has her own free will, and quite frankly, you have both put her through a load of shit based on your own ideas, insecurities and fears. I think that was all Tim, number one. I mean, I just want this to be a love story, and I'm here to help. He is just a human being in the Matrix, thinking it is all real. I know the bigger picture. Really awesome. Okay, let's break this down then. It would seem to me even a nano-sized dick like yours, has a mind of its own. Number one, that is not fair. My love for Emma is far more than that. Surely it is. I am not just that sort of guy, and neither is Tim. Really, how would you know? How would Tim know? Why do you push me so, number one? To make you look deeper, to help you know yourself more. You should get out more. Very funny, number one. Up there, my predicament must be so easy to laugh at. I am nano-size inside this guy who I agree should go out more, but shares my sense of, I don't know, loyalty or fantasy. No, it isn't a fantasy. You don't understand what Emma and I share, or Tim and Emma shares, or, oh dear. Help me, number one, I don't understand. I am trying to help you. We are all trying to help you. Remember the moment called now. That timeless portal to all that was, is, and will be. That is the point. That is the link between the finite and the infinite. That is what Emma certainly knows more about than you, Mr. Nano Dick. Not fair, number one. It is only nano-sized because of this pod. In the past, some ladies have said, "Thank you, Orson." There you go again. Now can we get back to the job of storytelling? This is your mission, remember. Yours and Tim's in some sort of harmony, please. Go with the flow of it. Surrender to it, as Tim is beginning to. I feel it is about to get very interesting soon. Okay, number one. I will return to the heart centre, yet still pray for a love story. As we all do, Orson. And it already is, you know. This is the biggest love story in all time. Tim, what is it in me that keeps me stopping and starting in my story? It is at times a wave-like progress. My mind, my fears. How can I delay any longer that which I know? To become a part of and join what has just come to me intuitively now, and I have known all along, is the biggest love story of all time. A joining of divine sparks throughout this universe, an alignment of the God within us all, finally expressing itself. A love so enormous, the very living earth joins in the song of the spheres, the great awakening, the great reset, is upon us. And here we are. Courage. At the end of the day, that sense of courage keeps any one of us going. And it is what we need. It leads to gratitude that you were courageous. More and more that you tip that balance. It is undoubtedly possible for every person to heal themselves, especially as they come into alignment with their higher self. We all have a higher self. And that, to be honest, it's such a beautiful thing, the higher self. That all you have to do is want it. And it's there for you because it's always been there for you. We truly live in a matrix, a delusion of sorts. And many years ago I really realized it's like, right, so this is a delusion, an illusion. So make it a good one. Because otherwise you would be working against yourself. And that gradually I've realized is very true. That why not make it a good one? And if we all choose to work together, at which point I'll make a very important point here. And this was pointed out to me some years ago. Was that there is a great danger in all having the same dream. There's a very real danger in that. And that's why every individual's intuition and creativity and playfulness and path is so important. Because otherwise, one of the worst things is everyone has the same dream. And why that is bad is because if you have the same dream, it's not your dream. The same core, I firmly believe, of compassion, love, connection to all beings, a care for this very planet. Guys, this is getting serious. A care that can be the same, but the individual manifestation, the individual path must be unique, because otherwise what are we all going to do? The same thing? That's not going to work. That we really must live our own path, combined as they can be, but not all doing the same thing, you see, because that has been, without getting too into it, don't want to do any housekeeping, the religions over millennia, it is very much that power orientated, same dream that has caused atrocities and confusion, dogma. we're in the process of lifting that, never repeating that. I would lay my life down immediately if that would work. To never repeat that. That the consciousness of human beings can expand to understand that very simple fact. That we mustn't all dream the same dream. But that we can certainly join together. And I, personally, I'd really like to talk to flipping anyone about this, this is getting beyond surreal. Yeah, I think I've had issues of worthiness. Oh, this is Tim. Let's remember it's Tim speaking. Keep Orson out of this. He can speak later, I reckon. I hope it's not a sign of my duality. But no, I'm just finding my way to mess around and get to know the invisible people. And I love it every time that we spend these times together, that I get to know nothing, but that I just know that I'm getting through to you. I know I am. And that gives me the strength to trust in the invisible, the unmanifested. And keeps me in the flow, personally, But I think I've got the flow a bit, and a few companions, because what was also pointed out to me, it's like, my understanding, I am one person. My understanding and insights could benefit so much, for me, from meeting other people at different levels of this understanding, people far more ahead than me, that it could so help, and I think that would be a good idea now. So any, invisible helpers, want to get in touch, and I would just love to join a few of you earthlings that are out there. I just know you're all there, and it's got just too far now. But anyway, I'd just like to really reach out and say as ever, I have to be very aware, as we all do, I think, now, of what we think, say and do. I will always have a level of caution until I certainty is where I want to be. My connection to the infinite is undergoing a process of aligning, and I must trust in that, as I have throughout this entire process. I've trusted, and that trust I reignite today as my fears surface. I work through them and can't believe they're still there, to be honest, because I don't know how to put it, but it's just like you're flying and you remember your shoe that you left down on the floor, and start thinking about, you need some new shoelaces. It makes no sense. And I want to remain in that flight of that trust, that infinite trust that I will meet you guys, and I'll meet you all, and I'm expanding this love that was sparked by an angel. I'm sorry if I put you through all sorts of shit. But hey. Sparked by one, and then realised it's the same for all in the end. And I think that has to be the lesson. The position I find myself in, surely that has to be the lesson. So I want to reach out to you all. And my heart is open. A bit of two-way traffic, I reckon, would be good. Acknowledgement. Coming home. Anyway, lots of love to you all. And let's make it a great, great time.